Hello. Welcome. It is Tones Trading here. We're just gonna be going over what's happening for the day. Just go over some general price action. What's happening? Do have a few setups that we're gonna be looking at. We should be seeing a nice push to the upside. We're just gonna go over general price action analysis. So first, we actually did see that 4-hour bullish RSI divergence and playing out actually like perfectly to my target. So we ended up getting it confirmed on closure right here, and then I did say we were going to get a run up to the 55 exponential moving average. Of course we did. Then we got a small, minor pullback, but of course we start to continue further to the upside, about like 929,306. That's pretty solid if you ask me. Most of the stochastic momentums are pivot to the upside, I believe. 2-hour, yeah, all of these are pivot to the upside. 6-hour up, 12-hour. 12 hour actually closing. If we close from above 28.5, so yeah, it's very likely we do close above the 28.5 because that's near the 55 exponential moving averages. So even if we were to dump, we would be expecting to get a nice bounce right there. But look at the daily. Daily actually didn't even flip, but if we close below 28.923, so it's kind of like where we are right now. So we would want to see that push to the upside for this momentum to continue. It definitely did. Momentum definitely did take a hit after we ended up getting this dump on Monday, but it's whatever. Another thing I want to go over on the 2-day time frame, we're seeing kind of like a volatility reset. That's what I would call it. It's because, of course, we got our expansion past the 10%, and of course the moving average even went under it, but it kind of just went down after that. Like nothing really massive ended up happening from that. So I would constitute that as some type of volatility reset. So that's really cool. Because the stochastic momentum is, as long as we close above 27, of course we're going to close above 27, at least I would hope so, but it's almost pretty much certain that we're going to be getting a momentum flip to the upside in that next week or so. If we start to get closures below the 10, then we end up seeing further expansion. We could be seeing like a 20% plus move on the 2-day, which that would be kind of massive for Bitcoin. And at that point, when we start to get this volatility back in the 10% region, I would think that we would have already had closures above 31. So that would be really good for Bitcoin in general. Just gonna take a look at this indicator I've been looking at. It's called a probability cone. It's actually quite interesting. So it uses standard deviations and the expected moves indicator to give a type of probability for the next time period of whatever I want to set, the range that we could be looking at for that. So, I'm actually gonna go over this before we go over that. So, here is my 6-hour stochastic setup. We had one iteration fire off right here. This is on early Tuesday. So this is pretty important. It's a cross below the 20 region on the 6-hour stochastic, then presents these statistics. About a 76% win rate. Profit factor actually isn't even that bad. It's like about a 1.5. But so yeah, 76% probability of about a 5.54% move. So of course that happened on this closure. 5.56. Some type of price action, that would be like 30K. Yeah, almost nearly 30K flat. So that would be pretty significant because then we would start getting closures above these highs right there. Excuse me. Then at that point, I'd be saying it's quite certain that we do see it move up to 32. That would be once we start seeing closures above these range highs, but I'm from these from these statistics, it is saying that it's quite likely. But another thing we could do is we could use the reverse PMRP, which then gives us price points on where the pivots are for the PMRP. So if we take, I believe our exit's 83. So that would mean that we would Is that 29? Yeah, so we would see our exit about 29.7. So it'd only be about a 4% move, but we still would be looking right above those range highs for the actual exit on it. But of course, you could move, a little bit further than that, just because that's how the PMRP works. But yeah, so it's quite likely that we do see those. If we see bars taken, so at 31, so if we take 31 times about 6, and then divide that by 24, about 8 days actually. So take it from. So yeah, it would be like we'd probably be thinking like next week is when we'd be seeing those closures, but that honestly is quite long. It seems very abnormal. I don't know. That's really weird actually. I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, I would kind of ignore like the days taken thing, but I just would say that we're gonna get that like 5% move up. Take a look at these probability cones. Of course, this is what I was going to talk about earlier, but I first want to go over the setup for today. So it does present these statistics. It's actually extremely high probability. So it works on standard deviations, of course. So it uses kind of the expected moves type of thing to just gauge like a kind of range that we'd stay in. It gives probabilities for that using the previous volatility for I believe the past year. So if we look for at least for this closure, it's unlikely that we'll see closures above 29.9. So that of course means that it's probably unlikely that we see that 6-hour setup workout like this closure. So in the next next about 20 hours. So it's unlikely that happens. It'll probably take a couple more days, maybe a day or two, to work out, I'd assume. But if we then look at this, the range is about 31.4 for the next week. So that would mean that it is possible that we do end up working our way up and start getting closures above these I would call this a trend high, honestly. So I would say it's safe to say that if we get closures above like this 30K region right here, it's safe to say that we're going to like 32 at least. But if we do see closures above like 35, maybe like 31, then I would start to say it's like extremely likely we start moving up to that. Then of course we would talk about possible pullback regions. I know that we do have a gap at like 35, which I would assume by then the 2-day volatility reset would have had started to happen, so we'd just be thinking about that. But it's just like a major pivot point is at 32, so that's definitely a big target for me. So yeah, we'll see how that starts working out, but should see a nice 5% move to the upside at least in the next few days. That's just something to pay attention to. And yeah, thank you for watching.